It's the hottest day of the year, and your feet are practically roasting in your shoes. You start thinking, why haven't we invented something better? Then you see someone glide past in a pair of airy, hole-filled shoes that seem to laugh in the face of sweat. You wonder, who thought that was a good idea, and how did they even make those things? Well, hold on to that curiosity because we're stepping straight into the factory to find out. Ready to uncover some wild factory secrets? All right, let's go. Like any shoe adventure, even one that looks like it belongs on another planet, the start is in the design. But how do they turn something so, hold into something people want to wear? It's not just sketching on a paper bag. There is some thought. There are teams of designers looking at all types of things. Sculptures, patterns in nature, maybe even the holes in their own socks. Well, the goal is to make a shoe that's not only comfy and useful, but looks good too. And forget boring focus groups. It's all about new ideas that make you say, that's different. So it's not an average design by any measure. These designs come after endless nights by many. Could the secret to these holy designs be hidden in the most unexpected places? Well, the process is not just for shoes. It's almost more about getting something unique on the table and in the market. A thought people often ignore, but it's a very important point of production. Now we know what the shoes will look like. We gotta talk about material sourcing. We're not talking any run-of-the-mill basic stuff. Holy shoes, as they're called, use very light materials that dry easily, like this plastic stuff called ethylene vinyl acetate, or EVA for short. Think of that rubbery foam they make playground mats with, but a bit stronger. You could stretch them and stuff. It's super cool. The idea is for it to be flexible but sturdy. It has to be easy to make different colors out of them, as you'd want tons of funky color choices. Finding good and high quality materials also makes the product price up. But here's where things get really surprising about Hoka shoes. Did you know some of these holy shoes are made with recycled materials? Yeah, that's right. Manufacturers are giving new life to things like old shoes, leftover scraps from factories, and even plastic pulled straight from the ocean. It's like turning trash into treasure, literally. Come on, they're Hoka shoes. Not only does this approach reduce waste, but it also helps the environment by keeping harmful plastics out of landfills and oceans. It's super cool. Suddenly, that quirky pair of shoes on your feet feels a whole lot more wholesome, doesn't it? Now remember, one single shoe often has more than 3 to 5 materials at the very minimum, like EVA foam, carbon fiber, rubber, and TPU. These different material requirements further raise the cost of material sourcing overall, adding to a premium final retail price for end consumers. Okay, with our strong material in place, it's time for some cutting and making the individual pieces that are a part of each shoe. Some precise machines punch out each part, and they need to make each pair perfect each and every time. So like a puzzle, each part comes in, big shapes, smaller parts, all making sure everything fits nicely together for each single pair of shoes that are on the line. Every small part that gets made needs to have measurements for the product, ensuring the sizes and the proportions are perfectly created each time. The process requires a great deal of skill. These are some hardcore machines, I'm telling you. Time for some real shoe shape making. The cutout EVA goes into these big hot machines with the mold, kind of like those waffle makers you use, but for shoes. It's under super strong pressure, and the hot EVA gets molded into the exact shapes we need. It happens so fast, all of the different parts pop right out just like magic from the molds of the machine. But what happens if even one step in this molding process goes wrong? That perfect shape needs a perfectly engineered machine. The shape of a specific model doesn't appear without very tough research time, trial, and testing of the equipment to achieve it consistently. Another very expensive but crucial piece of making Holy shoes. This stage gives the shoe its look. You'd notice this one mostly. Once the shoe parts come out from the molds, well, they're super hot, and you definitely don't want to touch those pieces barehanded. So it's off to cooling time. Real fast cooling to stop the pieces getting messed up from the hot mold making process we just talked about. Yeah, you can even use cold water to give that material a great shape, then let them sit on big racks until they're ready to be moved around. Another layer that goes into shoe production with high energy bills and production costs increase overall. Just remember, everything that needs special action pushes price higher at retail. Okay, all individual shoe parts are finally ready to become one whole pair. And the way this happens is simple, by using super strong glue that can handle anything you throw at it. The workers on the line are skilled to put different parts, such as straps, footbeds, and all the parts together to build that specific shoe. Yeah, glue makes it hold firm like a magnet, so these Holy shoes won't, fall apart when people wear it for the miles they put on them. Some designs even use stitching as well, all dependent on the design requirement, either by hand or more complex heavy machinery, all done in order for final output to pass standards checks. Sometimes Holy shoes need some added flair, you might see small little pieces on them that don't really matter for functionality. Little charms, pins, and stickers also need to be done. This often uses tiny robots to do all that work. Some shoes have even color pops, so extra paint or even different molds for dual color outputs or other colors might be required to create the finished article we get on store shelves. So there's so much behind a shoe that seems basic or simple from just the surface. All of it, again, adds cost and energy to product costs as it passes the assembly and custom pieces addition stage of product creation process. Last stage now. Each and every single pair of the shoes will go to people whose entire job is quality check, or what we call QC. And trust us on this one. These folks look for everything. And I'm talking everything. Did that little sticker go where it's supposed to go? Do the pieces hold together nicely, and do both the pairs feel and measure exactly the same for fit standards? They check for mistakes that will cause you, the buyer, issues down the line. If the shoes pass this inspection, they will be packed for the shelves and ready for delivery. But many also go right back in if QC finds an issue with them. So there may be holes in the shoe, but definitely not the game plan to make your Hoka shoes. So yeah, these super awesome Holy shoes we made are going to be sent out, and what they come in matters. So yeah, most shoe boxes are specifically made out of recycled materials with great packaging design, all in order to save costs on logistics, but yet super safe for delivery. Those designs you see on the packaging, they all also play an important part of marketing and promotion of shoes as they land into customers' hands in malls and shopping streets all around the world. It's not only a plain box, nope, there's a deeper goal there too, just to get your eyes into buying it. Yeah, they've all been printed and produced and carefully selected with brand promotion goals in mind. Yeah, these Holy shoes may seem simple, but yeah, let's face it, Hoka, they're the product of premium materials, skilled hands, and months of effort, plus a dash of branding magic for that extra flex. Now, let's step into a completely different kind of factory. And I mean really pivot to something that's a little more mouthwatering and a lot less like something you would put on your feet. Yeah, we're talking about the wonderful world of cakes. Not just one, but literally millions every single day. Forget the precise molding, we're diving into a yummy universe of batter, frosting, and the industrial dance that transforms giant sacks of flour into those tempting treats you can barely resist. Just like Holy shoes needs a system to manufacture each unit, we also need it to get those super fluffy and soft cakes going. These might seem different, but trust me, the manufacturing is so mind-blowing when we'll take this deep dive into those machines in our adventures today. All right, let's see how our adventure moves into cake design land. You can't have all kinds of yummy cakes if you have nothing behind them. A great team that looks how different ingredients blends together. What flavors, textures, even down to the design. It's like having someone in a kitchen lab mixing chemicals together, making sure every cake bite is a delightful blast to our taste buds. Just like a new shoe, you get lots of flavor research teams always exploring to find that next straight flavor hit, testing it and tasting it and making it consistent every single time we buy. Those giant bakery lines don't just roll the batter and voila, there you go. These ideas have all kinds of experiments that often never get publicized, and then there are the big hitters as well. We'll talk about that. So when that cake has flavor locked down, it's now ingredients gathering time. Lots and lots of everything you would put in a cake, you know? We have bags of flour, tons and tons of sugar, piles and piles of eggs, loads and loads of flavors, both natural and artificial. Getting the materials means that they come to a lot of suppliers so that there are high standards to every truck that reaches for the flour that we're going to use as base to many products here at the factory line. Now, do know that we are talking factory-style mass cake production here and not someone in a kitchen baking one by hand with family. There are very precise ratios used in that lab, often with a decimal value which needs absolute focus and attention. This stuff might have had great control, or else, a good product goes out as a failure of standard output on the day. Now, time to get our hands dirty as that big kitchen blender starts. Super huge mixing machines spin these raw materials with blades inside them as they rotate. Ingredients turn to one unified and yummy cake mix. This needs good power and great engineering, as any flaw here will produce bad tasting cake, and we cannot be having that today. But what keeps industrial mixers running flawlessly even when they're handling enough batter to feed, a small country? Everything from water ratio to flour blend is all in consideration while these powerful industrial machines prepare for cake mix base production to send on to our next big stage in the process. This mixer never stops, even while some ingredients are coming into it in constant motion from all directions and pipes. Batter is all ready and all mixed, and now it's finally getting a cake shape at this factory. This is where big sheets, rows, and lines of cake pans travel non-stop under pipes and nozzles that drop precise cake batter into each small or big cake form, depending on, what model it is that we're about to make. All this cake action is very fast, and that conveyor line is rolling through, making sure no place is empty or cake overflows. It's another testament of skill perfection. Calculations machines were designed by talented individuals in many countries over the world who specialize in just this area of mass production. Many of these machine makers don't see their creation in factories in another part of the globe, but their math will still be there all over for mass-produced cakes. The cake molds, full of that mixed batter, will then go straight inside big ovens that you wouldn't even dream of. Conveyor belts inside an oven runs like, cakes in a big amusement park ride, but there are lots of high temperatures there at the factory. Think a heat blast, but for cakes to make that softness just perfect. These temperatures have perfect calibration. Too high, burnt. Too low, it won't cook. The whole system makes the temperature for the cakes be done just perfectly. It's no average oven for, just any old kitchen, but a high-powered super tech cake engineering oven with a really high cost to it. Why is cooling cakes quickly after baking crucial to keeping them light, fluffy, and delicious? Well, there's precision and timing too, making each unit that will be a piece of yum, just how you love it, and expect to have it consistent production quality. Now, hot from the oven comes a very, very hot cake from an oven conveyor into big chilling tunnels. The quick cool down also does another important role of holding the shape in, so when you unmold those babies, you'll have all those cake forms perfect and just delicious looking. Cool down too does lots for quality of the product to avoid over softness while going through further layers of its factory creation process, as many other processes await it. So just think that our whole world here is non-stop automated and precise action. We can't just bring cakes to home after an oven. No, they have to go through these crucial stages too for final retail-ready products that land at shopping stores. After the baking and chilling stage, it's the yum toppings. The conveyor then brings cake base into an icing line or sometimes into filling section where all kinds of goodness comes along. Chocolate swirls, that yummy vanilla creamy goo, or sometimes jam layers, get squirted on cakes very precisely again and automatically, so it becomes perfect with every single cake at output line of those cake production machines and those factory sections where humans supervise the flow, making any necessary adjustments or stopping a specific run based on checks. In fact, you just see people standing looking at all the action happening with keen eagle eyes. For that final yummy pop, some cakes go through the decorating line. We might get chocolate sprinkles or colorful little bits added to it all automatically in the factory process. Sometimes designs have multiple colors, so several different types of sprinkle and decorative materials can also be put all very specifically on individual units, all made by automated machinery and processes where a machine arm will rotate specifically a precise set number of times, all just to have all those little design touches and yummy sprinkle touches done automatically in fractions of a second. The time this automation takes also decides total outputs and costs behind the line itself. Very big business decisions often depend on very minor tech details at factories all over. Finally, ready to go, the fully baked cakes go straight through wrapping and packaging with a machine where machines will wrap them and heat seal those packaging bags up with perfection, making them airtight so all the goodness, texture, and softness stay in when they're off to market after this. Some cakes come in little packs or sometimes into a cake box as they arrive on our table, but the machinery that packs them at factories, the system, precision, calculation, are all key factors at output. Sometimes packaging are done in multiple levels if cake structure demands, even at end-line processes too. This area in every production factory is a fascinating place to visit. Cakes fresh off the line are ready for delivery and the machines stack them all into shipping containers for us. Automated lifts, moving trays, and belts are bringing every packed item ready for trucks, for shopping shelves or retail malls, for people around the world, for every single place they might need, their tasty slice of perfect cakes at each day's grocery store, shopping, or a gift with friends for parties and other special occasions around us. Logistical precision is critical at this area of the production line where thousands, if not millions, move from this side at daily runs depending on specific type of cake type. This is always a crazy exciting place in factories as they go to many countries and cultures. Cakes might seem just like flour and batter, but behind the scenes, it's layers of effort, massive machines, skilled workers, eco-costly processes, and protected packaging to get it from oven to fridge. Like Holy Shoes, cakes are more than just the sum of their parts, crafted with precision by teams ensuring perfection across the globe at a cost of millions. So there it is, our super cool journey into how Holy Shoes get made and a cake bakery adventure showing those big giant cakes ready from raw materials. Seems different? Oh, you bet. But both need design and cool machinery plus skilled and very hardworking teams. In factories all over the world who have created these modern technologies, so, we get the goods. What do you feel about all these hard-hitting fun facts from factories on production? Did it make your curiosity get filled for today? Well then, subscribe for more crazy things that are happening all around us from inside those factories in future. Share this with your friends and we'll come up again for our next very crazy, interesting tech exploration. Till then, bye.